My name is Annie Class, and I'm the Food Pantry Coordinator at the Father McKenna Center. I'm also the Jesuit volunteer here. We have seen an increase in food pantry clients. Normally we have 45 people lining up, 50 people lining up at the end of the month. Last Thursday we had 65. And so you can see just in that number, the amount of people that are coming in that wouldn't be coming in maybe if they felt more secure in receiving benefits next month. I personally am seeing like an influx of people coming in that are new. Normally I have some paperwork that I fill out to put people into our system, and right now it's just been piling up because of new people coming to the pantry wanting to be part of a nearby pantry so that they have food security. I imagine next week, especially because there hasn't been any movement on extending the funding for SNAP, that we'll see a high increase, or at least we'll see what we normally see at the end of the month at the beginning of the month, because it's drastically different numbers. Normally at the end of the month we see 45 people the last week. In the beginning it can be 12 to like 20. I imagine that we'll see that consistent 45 people line up outside as we even get to the beginning of the month, because it's the same situation where they no longer have their benefits and so they rely on the pantries. Yeah, we serve around, I think it's like 400 or 500 people per month who fit into those various demographics. There's a lot of single mothers or families in which the two parents might not be in the picture. Some of the families that come in are like 6 or 7 people. We are a subsidiary Capital Area Food Bank, so a lot of our donations come from them, and they recently had budget cuts to them, so that's been difficult for us to manage. At Capital Area Food Bank, there's a healthy pantry initiative, so they really do a good job in trying to limit the amount of junk food or ultra-processed food that's going out, and maximize the amount of produce and food that you'd be sort of proud to feed your family. We serve a lot of produce. We have cabbage, we've got collard greens, tomatoes, potatoes, onions. A lot of our miscellaneous items are salad items. We have, on a lot of days, just sliced fruits, things that you would find in the produce section of a regular grocery store, especially because a lot of them come from the grocery store, and then some come from ordering mass produce. And then we have staples like bread. We have meat. We've been struggling to get meat because of the funding of the Capital Area Food Bank, which used to give us a lot more meat. We have to limit the amount of different types of produce or miscellaneous items, non-perishables, that people can get so that we can make sure that we serve 4 days a week. So those shoppers will go with volunteers, and those volunteers will sort of allocate the correct amount to each shopper so that we have a fair system for each shopper that comes through. Obviously, we plan for around 45 a day, 35 to 45 a day. If 65 show up and we let all 65 in, we can't serve 40 the next day and the next day. And we're working currently as a food pantry staff to see if we can allocate more money toward buying food as we get into November, when we know that those benefits won't be given to our patrons. We imagine it's going to mean that we will have a lot of people lining up for the food pantry. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of people lining up for the food pantry that we don't normally see at the beginning of the month. And I think that'll stretch our resources thin until the end of the month. We might get a new demographic of people coming into our pantry. But yeah, definitely an increase in the number that line up outside, and also, unfortunately for us, an increase in the number of people that we have to turn away based on our current inventory. So people begin lining up outside for our food pantry as early as 10 to 11 a.m. and our food pantry opens at 1:30. And as we get into the colder months in DC, that's obviously going to become a problem, because we don't want people sitting in cold weather for that long. But the problem with food pantries that operate every day and do the type of work that we do is that people have access to food pantries around the DC area once every couple weeks. There are some that operate to where you can come every week, and that's fine. But the ones that serve the healthy foods and our partners at Capital Area Food Bank, a lot of us operate once every 3 weeks for our patrons. So for them, it's like a life, like I really need to get food in my pantry. And we have people calling consistently during the day saying, I have no food in my pantry. Is this the day that I can shop? And so lining up at 11 a.m. to make sure that you can get meat for your family or eggs and milk for your family is worth that price, or the cost of being in line. But we have people lining up very early. There's rarely anyone that comes sort of at 1:30 and can shop, because we already have 40 people lined up by 12:45, and they wait for hours to get food. What we could use for our food pantry is donations. And again, they could be donations of non-perishables, but non-perishables like canned goods aren't our main source of food for our patrons, because we are a healthy food pantry. So those come from our produce, which we buy with the money we have from donations. There is a set budget allocated toward that. So, private donations to the Father McKenna Center, those would be really, really helpful during this time.